Hello YouTube, welcome to another Minecraft video. So, yeah, as you can see, I live in a desert. No, not a desert, like a volcanic area. An area with lots of volcanic activity. So the lava makes it very hot around here, especially after an eruption, which you can see just happened now, because it's dripping and stuff. You know? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so it gets really hot here, so I needed to make something to cool off, so I designed a water fountain. Well, no, I didn't design it. I got it from Seth Bling. There's a water fountain over there. I didn't design it, but I made it so I can cool off after an eruption. So, if I get close enough, you can see what's going on. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. So, yeah, it's spewing out water. And the water is just spewing out of right here. And it's flying through the air. And it's landing in here. Yeah. And also I want to show you that if I were to come along in survival, take this up, this is an infinite water source. When I scoop this up, the water replaces it. Yeah. But the way it works actually is not how I would think. Well, unless you've seen Seth Bling's videos, then you know how it works. But I'm going to show you step by step how to make it. Anyway, in case you haven't seen Seth Bling's video, you can see the spawner right under here. You can see the little flames coming out of the ground. That spawner is spawning these blocks right here. But they're not actually, these water blocks here, but they're not actually blocks. They're entities, and they're not water blocks. They're falling sand entities. And so, except their texture is recolored to look like water as it flies through the air. So it's spawned as water with a recolored texture. I mean, no, sand with a recolored texture, and it is spawned with a velocity, so it flies through the air, and then it lands right here. And when the falling sand touches this block here, it instantly turns into water, and that's why you see all this flowing happening. Yeah, infinite water source. It would be a cool thing to have in like the lobby of a server or something. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you how to make this. MC Edit is required, and some filters are required. Links to MC Edit, links to download MC Edit, and all the filters in the description. So yeah, let's learn how to build this. Let's get started. I'm gonna switch worlds real quick. Alright, I'm in one of my creative build worlds here, and is it this block? Yeah. Alright. So, to start, just find an open space like this, where I am, and just place a block, it doesn't matter what block, anywhere. Yeah. Okay. And then, this is the tricky part. Not super tricky, but kind of tricky. What you have to do, take a water bucket, and right-click, to place it on top of that block. But right when you place it, you have to pause the game, so that the water doesn't flow any farther. Like that. And you can see that the water hasn't flowed any farther than what's on the block. It hasn't flown off the block yet. And that's what we want. So now, you're ready to go into MC Edit. Alright, so I'm in MC Edit now. I'm gonna open up the world I was just in. There we go. And you can see if I come above the ground, that the water is still there and it has not flowed at all. It is just sitting right there. It hasn't flowed. Yeah, it hasn't flowed at all. And so, the first thing we do is put your block highlighter thingy over the block that you placed the water on, double click on it, and then press number 4 on your keyboard. That'll take you to this fill and replace thing. Click on air, hit OK, and then hit fill. And it'll just get rid of the block you placed it on and just replace it with air. And then you're going to want to double click on your water block here. And here's when we use filters. So you press number 5 to get to all your filters. To get to the filter page. And then to look through a list of filters, you click on whatever is up here. And the first filter we're going to use is Sandify. So it's down here, Sandify. So basically I'm going to explain what it does. I'm going to explain what each filter does before I use it. So what Sandify does is it turns the filter... it turns the block, all the blocks that are highlighted, into falling sand entities, but that keep the properties of the block. So basically, it's exactly what happened with the water fountain. It's just going to become a falling sand entity, but when it hits the ground, it's going to turn into water. So yeah, I don't need to edit anything here. Just hit filter, and then you'll see the water go away, replaced with this little red-looking thing here. That's the falling sand, and you can see it's already started to fall because some of it is sticking out of this block. We need to make sure the entire falling sand entity is highlighted. So click and hold one of these nudge buttons here, and just press Z, and it'll highlight the entire thing. So now it's time for our next filter, and that is change entities here. And that'll give it the velocity it needs and other stuff. Mainly the velocity to get it over to where you want it. So the velocity of Y here, that's how high it goes in the air, that's going to be 20. And then the velocity of how far it goes is going to be 10. And now, if this goes on to, like, let's say this were to go back, like, over here onto the hill or something, then I could just switch this around to -10 and make it go where I wanted. Or if neither of those are okay, you can use Z and try 10 and -10 there, and make sure this is the standard -1337. Yeah. Hopefully you know what I mean. Anyway, now we're going to move down here, change the falling block ID to 8, because that is the ID for water. Then the falling block data, 0. And that is, that's all we have to do. Don't edit anything else here. And then, sometimes the filter button for this doesn't work for whatever reason. If that's the case, just click anywhere else on the screen that's not here, and then hit enter. You'll see it turn red, and that's how you know you've done it. You won't see any other difference. So now we're going to go to our next filter, which is create spawners. And it does exactly what it says. It creates any entities in the block selection into spawners. So it'll create that one falling sand entity into a spawner, and it'll spawn falling sand. So what I need to do is make sure that this is checked, include position data, make sure that is checked with a check mark. I'll tell you why later. But for now, just hit filter, and you'll see the entity go away and be replaced with a spawner. Now we have one last filter to use in MCEdit, and that is change spawner properties right here. So click on that, and then a bunch of stuff here. Change the minimum spawn delay to 1, and the maximum spawn delay to 5. So that will basically make it so that they can only spawn in between, they can spawn every 1 tick or every 5 ticks, somewhere in between there. And make the current spawn delay 3 to balance it out a bit. Leave the spawn count and entity cap the same. The detection range, that's saying how how many meters away from, or blocks away from the spawner does a player have to be before it'll start shooting its water or sand, or before it'll start spawning. You can change it to whatever you want. I'm just gonna leave it at 16, and then make sure you change the spawn radius to 1, so it always spawns in the same place. Then hit filter. And now we're pretty much finished, so just hit Control S and it'll save everything you've done. And then once it's done, you can go back into Minecraft. Alright, so I've just logged back into my world, and you can see that the spawner is here, and it is shooting the water up there. Except the only problem is, obviously, that it's just landing in a random spot and running off. So, very quickly, I'm just gonna make a basin for it. Okay, so now you can see I've made the basin, and the water's just flowing in to the basin, and I can pick it up with a bucket to drink or do whatever I need with it. You wouldn't need to drink it, but use it for whatever. And you can see if I step far enough away, it stops spawning it, and they just sit there, and once I pick up the water, it doesn't go back until I step forward again, and then it'll just start going. So you'd probably want to make it more like 20 blocks so that if they go over here to get water, it doesn't stop. So 20 blocks would probably be a better range. But, yeah, it doesn't matter. Or if you just don't want it to ever stop, you can just make it like 1,000 blocks and then it'll just go on forever. For some reason, I always like mine to stop, so, yeah. Okay. We're pretty much done, except who wants to see that ugly spawner there just spawning away the blocks like that? No one wants to see that. That's disgusting. I mean, look at that thing. It's disgusting. Oh my god. It's horrible. I can't look at it. So yeah, how do you get rid of that? Well, whoops. Okay. Yeah, we can actually go into MC Edit and get rid of it, but keep the blocks still going there. Well, it won't be gotten rid of, but yeah. So I'll show you how to do that. Back into MC Edit one more time. Alright, so you can see I'm back in my world here. Yeah, so you can see there's the spawner. And then, if you look over here, you can see the water going into there. Yeah, so, the reason I say way too much, anyway, the reason that we can move this is because when we, god dang, I need to stop saying that. When we changed the spawner properties, when we made the spawner, we made it so that it remembers the whatever, I forgot what it said, but when we checked that checkbox, that was very important. That means we can move this without it affecting where that is. So, what I like to do, so just don't double click really fast, just like click, click, because if you double click too fast, it'll bring up a menu and it'll ask you to change it from something other than falling sand, and that would ruin it. So anyway, yeah, just select it and hold down the green nudge icon up here. Not these, the green one right here. And then what I like to do, just move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks back. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks down maybe. And then you can just Control S and save it. And then go back into Minecraft and it should still be spewing out water like nothing ever happened. So now you can see I'm back in my world and it's still just going like normal. So you can make a little platform around this, make it look nice and pretty, so it still looks cool. The one problem with this is that, man, it's lagging. Well, at least it's the end of the video. Anyway, the one problem with this is that you can see the spawners down there. And, what you will want to do is take, some dirt or something, and just cover up that hole. And it'll still continue to spawn them there like nothing's happened. Otherwise, that if you don't fill it up, then it'll just fill up with water under there. The only problem is now that the spawners moved back, the detector range thing is shorter. So if I'm right here, it'll go out. See, it goes out now, and it didn't used to. But that's an easy fix. You can just go into MC Edit, find the spawner, and just make the range bigger. Yeah, yeah, I say way too much. Anyway, that's the end. That's it for this video. Oh my god. Anyway, that's the end for this video. I will be coming up with a new video. Oh my god. With a new video related to this sometime in the near future, maybe a week from now. And it will show you how to make a 100% undetectable trap in Minecraft. It's not the kind that you've seen Seth Bling make. It does use a proximity detector, but it's slightly different. So if you want to see that, if you want to be the first to be notified when that comes out, click the subscribe button down below this video. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you would click the button in the bottom right corner on your screen on the video. That leads to my channel. You can check out my other videos. Subscribe if you like what you see. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next week. 100% undetectable trap. Oh my god, I need to stop saying and that's it. Thank you for watching. My name's Fahrenheit646. I'll see you next week.